Welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Colleges That Change Lives virtual college fair. We have a killer lineup of institutions for you to hear from this evening. But before I turn things over to them, I do have a couple of housekeeping items for you. Number one, this is a webinar, so your camera and your microphone are off. So our panelists cannot see or hear you this evening. But they know you're going to have some questions and they want to make sure that your questions get answered. So at a time that's convenient to you, you can put your question in the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. Just make sure that you type out the college or university that you're directing your question to so that they can answer it appropriately. Third, this is a really fun way to look at colleges and universities. And so we hope that you'll sign up for more sessions. There's one more session after this evening, and there's also more sessions tomorrow. So we hope that you'll sign up for additional opportunities to explore colleges. This session, along with all the other sessions happening tonight and tomorrow, will be recorded. And so that will be available at strivescan.com/CTCL. Before I turn it over to our first presenter, we do have a short video for you. So here we go.
Hi, I'm Ann Morano, Executive Director of the Colleges That Change Lives. Congratulations on starting or continuing your college search, and thanks for saying yes to spending some time with us during the virtual college fair. I'm so excited for you. Take a deep breath. You got this. One thing you need to know about all of the colleges that change lives is that we are fiercely committed and dedicated to the individual student, that's you, and a student-centered search. You really matter to us. So think about what you value and what you're looking for in your college experience. What will make you happy on campus? What sorts of experiences are you looking forward to having in and outside of the classroom? What sorts of clubs and organizations do you want to get involved with? Do you want to start? What sorts of folks do you want to be surrounded by? People who have similar backgrounds, similar viewpoints and opinions, or people who come from different backgrounds who have different opinions and viewpoints? What kinds of conversations do you want to get involved in on campus? Again, in and out of the classroom. Which ones do you want to start? Which ones do you want to spill out into the hallways after class is ended? What sort of physical environment are you looking forward to? Do you want to be in an urban metropolitan area or further away in what I call a more rural, nature, green stuff kind of space? How close do you want to be to home, or what you call home? Do you want to try something completely different in a location that's brand new to you? Or do you want to stay a little closer to what's familiar? If it matters to you, it matters to us. You'll have an opportunity to ask questions in the chat during each session. So make sure you show up as yourself, be yourself, and get those questions answered. The Colleges That Change Lives are 44 distinctly different liberal arts institutions located across the United States. Although they are all different in terms of their academic offerings, their personalities, their vibe on campus, sometimes even their single gender focus or faith affiliation, they all share a commitment to you and to the liberal arts, because we believe that no matter what you want to study or what you think you want to do once you have graduated from college, the liberal arts provides you with lifelong learning. It will make you a more effective communicator, resourceful problem solver, and global citizen. And we think that's super important, especially for today. If there are questions that you have that don't get answered, or we can provide additional support or be a resource for you after the fair, throughout your college search and application process, don't hesitate to reach out to any one of the member colleges or myself. And if there are schools that you'd like to learn more about, or schools that are not represented at the virtual fair, be sure to check them out at our website, ctcl.org. Good luck, and thanks again for being here.
What a perfect message to get this kicked off. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our panelists. First up, you're going to have the opportunity to hear from Wabash College. Mackenzie, take it away whenever you're ready.
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for the CTCL presentation today. You're going to have a great opportunity to learn about some of the schools here today. In a lot of ways, we're extremely similar. We focus on the benefits of providing young students with the academic education that they're going to need for the next 4 years. So I'm here to talk a little bit about Wabash and the liberal arts in general. So at Wabash, as you can see here, we want our students to learn more, earn more, lead more, and play more. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we're able to do that throughout the next few minutes here. So we have about 900 students on campus. We're coming from 31 different states and 19 different countries. We are located in Crawfordsville, Indiana, which is more of a rural area. However, we're located about 45 minutes outside of Indianapolis. We sit on a beautiful 65-acre campus. So although we are a small town, we are also very close again to a large city where there's a lot of different opportunities for different sporting events or shopping or just whatever you may get from a larger city and the benefits of that. So why the liberal arts? You're going to learn about that throughout the presentation today, but just to specifically touch upon Wabash College in Crawfordsville. So we have about 39 different majors and minors for you to choose from. So they range all over the place. For instance, most of our students, the most popular major for incoming students or that academic interest is actually business. However, we don't have a specific business major, but we do offer a business minor. So a lot of those students are choosing to major in maybe English or rhetoric or religion or something in the foreign languages. However, we still prepare them for the world in business. 1 in 10 Wabash graduates holds the title of CEO, founder, owner, president, vice president of a company. So that's 10% of our alumni network. And again, we don't have a specific business major. So just like all the other schools you're going to learn from today, if there's something you really want to do and a school that you feel comfortable at and really enjoy doesn't offer that specific major, don't be afraid to still explore that school. We're happy to tell you different ways that we can get our students there. We offer Wabash X programs, which you see here on the left-hand side. What they do is they're co-curricular programs that take place outside of your coursework inside of the classroom and still, again, prepare you for things that you may be interested in after college. So for instance, we have the Center for Innovation, Business, and Entrepreneurship, which we call CIBE. Comes with guaranteed paid internships for our students. Also, you get a lot of training and certifications within the business world, hear from different alumni, and receive, again, additional information that you're not getting maybe inside of the classroom, but we're still making sure that you can talk about in job interviews or grad school interviews and adding to your resume. We also have the Wabash Democracy and Public Discourse program. So that's allowing our students to go out in the community and to hold those difficult conversations, not only in the community, but also that we're having on campus. So we're talking about healthcare and childcare and just different issues that are going on inside of the community, meeting with different citizens there and talking about how we can better the communities that we are living in. We also have the Global Health Initiative. So of course, this is for our students who are really interested in the pre-health sciences or pre-med. They're able to work at free clinics and get that exposure outside of campus, again, to talk about in med school interviews or grad school interviews and job interviews. Immersion learning is hopefully going to be something that you hear about tonight. So we do have a traditional study abroad experience, but we also have trips that take you outside of the country for just 7 to 14 days. So they're tied to a class that you take here at Wabash, but then you still get to explore the world and explore that topic in pretty great detail with your professors and your classmates. The best thing about Wabash is those opportunities are actually free to you as a student. You just need to take some money for souvenirs and maybe a couple meals. But other than that, again, it's completely paid for by the college, which is really unique. As I mentioned, we are wanting to get our students prepared for what's to come after college. So we are, of course, helping you get trained for those jobs that are going to come. We're ranked #1 in the country for our alumni network, which is helping you, again, form those connections to get job interviews once you leave Wabash. But we're also ranked #3 for internship opportunities. No matter which college you end up choosing, please make sure that you are taking part in internships. They are so important. Here at Wabash, you don't have to be an upperclassman in order to find those internships. Our students are really starting those in their freshman year, and like 80% of our students have at least 2 paid internships while they are a student on our campus. Here, just if you're a numbers person, this slide is really for you. As you can see, we want to make sure that you get a job once you leave Wabash. That's a benefit of a small school. You really have the opportunity to get to know career services and faculty members and make sure, again, that we're forming those connections for you. So 83% of our students, when they walked across that stage at graduation to receive their diploma, already knew exactly what they were doing after leaving campus. So they were going to grad school, going into the military, already had a job lined up, or were going into a fellowship at that point in time. As you can see here, like I said, internships are really important. So in 2021, that summer, 93% of our students did have a summer internship. That was in the middle of a global pandemic, and we are still able to make sure that they receive those experiences. Leadership opportunities, of course, are something that we really value on our campus. Again, you don't have to be an upperclassman in order to receive or hold those leadership statuses. So there's plenty of different ways for our students to get involved. Student government is really big here. As you can see, we're ranked #10 for most active student government inside the country. We also are pretty big on Greek life as well. So about 50% of our students are a part of a fraternity. So there's plenty of different leadership opportunities within there as well. If you're not a member of a fraternity, we have our Independent Men's Association for those students who choose to live in residence halls. Plenty of opportunities within there. And then, of course, different clubs and organizations on our campus. We're also a pretty big sports school. So we are a Division III institution where about 50% of our students are varsity athletes. If they're not varsity athletes, plenty of those students are also participating in intramurals. We had 12 varsity sports, with our newest addition being men's volleyball. So as I touched on earlier, there's a lot of different leadership opportunities on campus, but traditions are, of course, really, really big. We are an all men's institution. So we have, again, about 900 young men on our campus. So of course, through all the different things that they're taking part in and their academics, we are preparing them for what comes after Wabash, not just to be successful within their careers, but also to be successful as gentlemen and husbands and fathers and community leaders, whatever that path may look like for them. Of course, our application is live, so we encourage you to please apply now. We are available through the Common App or just going through our website. As far as merit-based scholarships go, we have some pretty great ones there as well. Scholarships range anywhere from $17,000 to $30,000 just based off of your GPA and test score, should you choose to apply for those. We also do have a few additional scholarships called our Lilly Award, which are full tuition, room and board, everything covered all 4 years. There is an application process for that. Of course, it is very competitive, but that is out there. So I'm wrapping things up now, but please, I will drop a few links in the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. We'd love to see you submit your application and hopefully visit campus soon. Thank you all.
Mackenzie, thanks so much to you and Wabash College. Next up, I have the opportunity to introduce to you St. John's College. Natalie, take it away whenever you're ready.
Hey, thank you so much. Okay. All right. So good evening. My name is Natalie, and I'm an Associate Director of Admissions for St. John's College. And let's see, we will get started here. So before I get too far down the rabbit hole of my spiel, I always like to have parents, students, whoever's watching this presentation kind of go through this list and see if you know somebody for these, if this applies to you or to your child or to your student. Are they this kind of person? Are you the kind of person who has your nose in a book? Do you have lots of questions about how the world works? Are you one of those people who doesn't want to sort of take things as at face value, but you would rather really understand how it works, right? What is the underneath? Why do I have to do it this way? Are you in mock trial, maybe model UN, speech and debate? Do you consider yourself kind of a divergent thinker? And do you perhaps do cross country or play D&D or cosplay? So I always say if you answered yes to 2 or more of those, then please do keep listening, because maybe St. John's is a good place for you. So a little bit about St. John's. We are one college with 2 campuses. We are teeny tiny on the spectrum of small liberal arts colleges. We have about 800 students between 2 beautiful campuses. And we essentially study 3,000 years of human thought across 7 disciplines. And we'll get into more of that in just a little bit. And it's all done through Socratic, inquiry-based conversations around a table. This is a snapshot from our campus in Santa Fe, New Mexico. We're at the southern tip of the Rocky Mountains. We're at 7,000 feet elevation, so lots of skiing, hiking, rock climbing, all of those great things. Plus, it's kind of an amazing art town too. Our other campus is located in Annapolis, Maryland. It is actually the 3rd oldest college campus in the United States, as was talked about on Jeopardy a couple months ago. But it's right next to the Naval Academy. It's on the Chesapeake Bay, and it's very, very historic and brick and ivy. But about St. John's. So St. John's is known for our inquiry-based approach. We do this through something called a Socratic seminar. Some of you may have dabbled in that. I had some classes in this way, but this is essentially what all of our classroom looks like. We sit around a table with the faculty member in classes that are 14 to 19 students large. There are no lecture classes at St. John's. We study primary texts. We study the math from Euclid and Einstein. We study philosophy, history, music, even science from those artists and thinkers. Everyone at St. John's graduates with a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts. So that is a lot to cover for the program, but let me talk a little bit about student life, because that's just as important as the academic program. We, as I mentioned, are teeny tiny, but we have over 40 clubs and activities, anything you can imagine. This is just a small list that I gathered recently, but pottery, yoga, intramural soccer, newspaper, of course, poetry magazines, student government, and we are small by design, and we purposely stay at this size, around 400, partially so we have a great group of activities that exist and kind of go from year to year, but also so that you can become a leader, right? So you can start a group, so you can have that moment that you can sort of create something for yourself and for your fellow students. So a little bit about what others are saying about St. John's. If you don't know about St. John's, we are called one of the most rigorous colleges in America because of our intensely intellectual academic seminar style great books program. But we get pretty good marks with Princeton Review and US News and World Report as well. I think the question I get most often from parents and from students is that this sounds great. This sounds great. Everyone graduates with a Bachelor of Arts. There's no majors. Wait, how does that work? You know, what am I going to do after St. John's? How will St. John's help me find a place in the world? And I think that this is one question that I enjoy answering the most, because we have really worked hard to connect those dots for students. So there is money and support and staffing on both campuses to support students once they're freshmen, even as a freshman, with one-on-one meetings, workshops, panels, job shadowing, of course, paid internships and fellowships, and our amazing alumni network. And in COVID, the class of May 2020 and May 2021, 100% of them found jobs through our alumni network and through our board in an area that was meaningful to them. So we also do really well on the LSAT. This is kind of an amazing pre-law program for students. So in the last 5 years of the students, of the seniors that took the LSAT, they scored on average in the 92nd percentile. And just to kind of reiterate kind of this message again, because I think examples are important, we have alumni who are in the business world, in finance. We have alumni who are at Stanford doing research. We have alumni who've started wineries. We have alumni that are in journalism at NPR. The editor-in-chief in the Huffington Post, Lydia Polgreen, is a Johnny. So a bit about admissions financial aid. So we are we do participate in the common application. There are a couple other ways to apply. We really honestly want you to choose the application system that is best for you. It does not matter to us which application system that you use. We are test optional. We've been test optional for 40 years. We will continue to be test optional. We will look at scores if you submit them, so we're not test blind, but you know, they don't usually work against you. They really can, you know, work in your favor, or more importantly, we kind of know that there's more to a student than just their test scores. So we value very much the essay. So in addition to the Common App essay, we do ask students to write a supplemental essay. And this is really a chance for a student to show us how they think and how their mind works and what they're sort of passionate about. So we ask you to pick a book and to reflect upon it. We want to sort of know how that book has sort of impacted you, how it's influenced you. For us, that essay, and it's just a couple pages, it doesn't have to be a novel, but that is really the focal point of our application. So your admissions application is also an application for merit aid. We just assume everyone wants to be considered for merit aid, and we do have a good merit aid. So you don't have to complete anything separate. You just have to fill out your application, your letters of rec, your essay, your transcripts. In terms of financial aid, we do have, as I mentioned, merit aid. We also have need-based scholarships. All that we require you to do for need-based scholarships is that FAFSA, which just opened a couple days ago. So hopefully you guys are all hearing about that, parents, students, counselors. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid, and that will help us determine your need. But going back to our size, you know, as I mentioned, we're deliberately small, and this allows me as your admissions counselor to advocate for you through the admissions process and also through the financial aid process. So if the FAFSA, you know, doesn't sort of match what you think you can contribute, we can help you with an appeal process. This is just a sort of a departing shot, which I love, from 2 blocks away from our Annapolis campus. This is a shot of the Chesapeake Bay. So right in the sort of historic district of the town of Annapolis. And then this is a shot from our Santa Fe campus. And this is, you know, like 5-minute walk uphill from my office. So a really beautiful place to kind of spend some time and, you know, really forming a community. And I will say that St. John's is the kind of place where people choose for that intellectual sort of rigor, but they also choose it for the community. You know, we want students who think differently, but we also want students who can think together. It's very much the sort of place where you're going to sit across the table from someone and not agree with them, hopefully, and that you're going to have a difference of opinions, and you're going to be able to sort of work through that civilly. And you're also going to be able to explore your own interests within this set curriculum. So please feel free to take a screenshot of this. I'll put my contact info in the chat as well, but I'm happy to follow up with a Zoom meeting, or, you know, we can text or email. So thank you.
Natalie, thanks so much to you and St. John's College. Wow, I told you this was going to be fun. You've already heard from 2 great institutions, and we still have 2 to go. So next up, I have the opportunity to introduce to you Cornell College. Drew, take it away whenever you're ready.
Thanks so much. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming out tonight. My name is Drew Stradel. I'm the Director of Admission at Cornell College, and I am thrilled to be here to talk a little bit about Cornell College. So I'll start off with a little picture of Cornell College as we get into things. Cornell College is located in Mount Vernon, Iowa, sometimes confused with the university in New York. But I always like to say this fun fact is that Cornell College was opened in 1853 and was actually 12 years prior to the university opening. So we were actually the first Cornell. And if you come to Cornell College for a visit, we'll get you a t-shirt that you can promote that as well. You'll make sure to give everybody a history lesson. So Cornell College is unique because it runs on the one course at a time block plan. This is where you take literally one course at a time. Each class is 18 school days long. On day 18, you take your final for that class. You get a 4-day weekend, and the next Monday you come back, you start your next course. Each class is about 4 hours per day, 9 to 11, 1 to 3, and every class ends at 3 o'clock each day. That gives students a chance to be a student and also be involved in other things, whether it be fine arts, athletics, clubs and organizations, jobs, whatever you want to do. Our classes average about 16 students per class and cap every class of 25 students, and every class is taught by one professor, and they only teach one course at a time as well. You're never going to have a situation where a professor is teaching multiple different classes. They get to know you, they get to develop a relationship with you, and they get to really know who and what you are and what you struggle with and what you thrive in to help out in that way. The block plan, as you can see, is broken up in 2 different semesters, and we take 8 blocks per the normal year, and we did add in a flex block, or a couple flex blocks rather, in blocks 9 and 10, and this was to help with COVID-19. So to make sure that our students, if they were affected by COVID-19, they could take blocks 9 and 10 at no additional cost. We did keep those around though, so now students can use that to be a little bit more flexible in their schedule if they want to take additional courses or possibly even graduate early. Our classes are not lecture, so being in the same class every day for 4 hours a day, it's going to be a little bit long. So we try to make sure that they're lively, discussion and conversation based. You're not going to be able to hide in the room for sure. And what I always like to describe the block plan as is something that a professor told me one time. Is the difference between the block plan and a semester plan is that in the block plan, our content dictates the amount of time you spend in the classroom. And in a semester plan, the time dictates the amount of content you can teach because you obviously have another class to go to. And so in our classroom, we can really talk about different things, go over a lot of different things, and not have to worry about the pressure of the ticking clock to the next class. The block plan, you can study abroad as well. We study abroad in the semester, but most normally we will study abroad on the block. We do go abroad at different times, and we try to pick off-peak times. That way the price of the trip is a little bit cheaper, as well as it's advantageous, like our scuba diver there in the bottom corner. That is a trip that we go to the Bahamas or Belize every year, alternating years, and we go in February. So February in Iowa can be a little bit chilly, so we get to go, I always say, get maybe some sunburns in the Bahamas during that time. The other nice part is that we avoid J terms and May terms of other schools. So when we go to the Bahamas, there's a small research facility and small island. We get to go there and we have the whole island to ourselves during that time. So it's advantageous for us as well. Cornell College, over the past couple of years, has started a new core curriculum called Ingenuity in Action. This is developed over these 3 rings, our little breakout session there in Ingenuity in Action in our portfolio. We have our foundations, which is the student developing who they're going to be and how to learn how to work on the block plan. So your first year seminar course, your second year seminar, and your writing course. We have our building essential abilities and our explorations, which includes your major work as well as your core curriculum classes. So your classes that are going to be outside of your major. And then your Ingenuity in Action is 2 different areas that you have the ability to take part in. So this could be service, this could be leadership, this could be a research project, an internship, study abroad. And all of those have funding through our Berry Career Institute. So you're able to do those 2 different Ingenuity options and also get funding to be able to do those. And then the portfolio is where everything comes together. So at the end of your 4 years at Cornell College, you're able to look back and say, as a science major, how did that art class help me? Maybe how did that math class help me? And put it all together so you can really sell yourself after you leave and say, look, this is how my 4 years developed who I am as a person, as a professional, as an educator, etc. Cornell College has been improving our campus as well. And so this is Russell Science Center. This is the newest building we have on campus. It's the housing of our biology and chemistry departments, most of our pre-health sciences. This was built 2.5 years ago as a great place to have class and lab and research. When we built this brand new building, we actually renovated our old science building to hold our math and science and physics and engineering departments. And our engineering department is a 4-year Bachelor of Science degree that is an accredited engineering degree focused on mechanical engineering. And then we just renovated our college hall, which is actually the building you saw on the very first slide, to help with our business department with a very cool business-oriented classroom. Currently, we are in a $19 million renovation of our athletic and wellness center. This will be a center for all of our students to be able to take care of themselves, either through wellness and working out, or potentially taking a yoga class or maybe a meditation course in one of our classrooms that we'll have inside this building. It's going to be a great facility, not just for about 40% of our students who are student athletes in NCAA Division III, but all of our other students as well, to be able to, again, have an expanded wellness facility. And just a view of it from the outside. This is expected to be done in the fall of 2022. So for any of you who are seniors, you'll be able to take advantage of it right out of the gate. And anybody after that, it should be open for business for you to use as well. Now, success one course at a time is a huge thing. Our students do graduate in 4 years. So about 96% of our students graduate in 4 years. 88% complete a research some sort of research while they're here, and 97% of our students, so in the class of 2019, who are seeking employment, found employment. We also have a 75% pre-med or med school placement rate, rather, a 91% law school placement rate. We have a 3+3 program with the University of Iowa, which is just 30 minutes south of where Cornell College is. So you take 3 years at Cornell College, you take 3 years at Iowa, and you have your law degree. And we have a brand new entrance into the Tippy School of Business for a Master's of Science rather in finance, with the University of Iowa as well. So a 4-year degree at Cornell in either economics or business classes, and you could get a guaranteed acceptance into the Tippy School of Business there. So Cornell College is not only setting you up for success, but we're also trying to find new ways to guarantee that success. Now, affordability at Cornell is really important to us. And so over the past 2 years, we've developed 2 or 3 brand new programs. So last year we had our Iowa Promise Scholarship. This is for Iowa students. So if you were admitted to Cornell College and you were an Iowa student, you were guaranteed a minimum of $30,000 per year in merit aid. This year, we expanded that. So now for students in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas, and Nebraska, you are also included in that $30,000 scholarship. So all you have to do is be admitted, and you're guaranteed a minimum of $30,000 a year. We have merit scholarships for all of our other states as well. They range from $21,000 up to $34,000. And our Iowa Promise and our Freeway Scholarship students can still receive the $34,000 award too if they are an excellent student. And our final one is something we just released last year, which is our debt reduction pledge. In this is where we will pick 65 students who have been admitted to Cornell College, filed their FAFSA, and applied to become a debt reduction pledge student. From those 65, we will pay at the end of your 4 years at Cornell College, half up to $12,000 of your federal student loans. So this is Cornell's way of also taking on some of that burden of student loan debt. And again, this is something that's very easy to sign up for. You just have to be admitted, apply to the college, and have the FAFSA, and then you can apply to the debt reduction pledge. Finally, our application is very easy. We have our standard application, which is GPA and test score, and we have a no test application, which is just your GPA, your transcript, and a writing sample, and a couple of small additional writing samples to take the place of the test score. You can apply today on Cornell College's website or with the Common App. And then also, as everyone reminds everybody, the FAFSA is open, and there's our FAFSA code in case you want to get that in. Thanks so much, and I'll be around for questions afterwards.
Thanks so much, Drew, to you and Cornell College. Our final presentation tonight will be from Clark University. Miguel, take it away whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you so much. Give me a second and I will go ahead and pull up my PowerPoint. Hope everyone is having a lovely evening. And I want to make sure to first and foremost thank y'all for joining us today. I know the virtual world can be a little bit overwhelming, but I am always excited and happy to engage in these. Sorry, give me a second. My PowerPoint is kind of, there we go. My apologies, it is not letting me share. But no worries. See, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go forward with my presentation, and I'm going to see if I can get the PowerPoint up and going. My apologies.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Well, real quick, and also in the chat here, you'll see my information as well as some links to our website in terms of how to apply and also how to visit campus, which we often encourage our students. So real quick, my name is Miguel Santiago. I am the Director for Access and Transition at Clark University, here based in Worcester, Massachusetts. I prefer he, him pronouns. And I want to tell you a little bit about Clark and give you just a little bit of context and background, and we'll go ahead and dig in. But Clark University is a very small liberal arts college based out in Worcester, Massachusetts, just about an hour outside of Boston and about an hour north of Providence. We have an undergraduate enrollment of about 2,300 students and an average class size of 20, so that keeps it pretty small. In terms of our curriculum, it is all, as opposed to our enrollments, as we actually have a very large curriculum for students to engage with. We have over about 50 programs of undergraduate majors, minors, and concentrations that students can choose from. They can double major, they can double minor, they can pick up concentrations underneath different majors and are able to put together programs of their own. On top of that as well, we also have a lot of graduate programs, which I'll get into a little bit later. Ironically, Clark was the first institution to be established as an all graduate institution. So we have a long history and legacy of sending students off to great graduate programs and really getting a good quality graduate education here within house. And I'll talk a little bit more about that because one of our big defining features is our 5th-year free master's program. Excellent. Oops. My apologies. Excellent. And so, as I mentioned, we have, as you've heard with our other peers, we are a liberal arts institution, but we do have a very big, focus in STEM as well as undergraduate research. And I think let's see, my coworker Rhea, if you would go back a slide, that would actually be great. And thank you for pulling that up. Excellent. And as before mentioned, as I mentioned with the 50 undergraduate majors and minors, they're actually split up amongst 3 schools in the undergraduate, a College of Arts and Sciences, which houses a number of programs, our School of Management, and more recently added this year, the Becker School for Design and Technology, which actually houses the #2 game design program in the nation. So we offer a whole bunch of different programs ranging from game art, game design, game production, game management, and so forth. And we're really happy to introduce that into our curriculum this year. Excellent. So one of the big things about, I mentioned that really distinguishes us, as you've heard with many liberal arts colleges, yes, we stress an interdisciplinary curriculum. Yes, we do want to give students the option to explore and really find an education that suits all of their needs. But the opportunity for research at the undergraduate level and really engaging with hands-on learning is something that's really important to us and something that identifies us. There are 4 particular components of the Clark experience and the Clark curriculum that I want to go through. And each of them are very key and something similar to what you might see at some other smaller liberal arts institutions. But we have the first-year intensives, which is like a first-year seminar that is very content specific and allows you to really get a good feel for the campus, the good feel for the community and the Worcester community as well in which we exist. The program of liberal studies is going to be throughout your 4 years really at Clark, and it really gives you the opportunity to explore a number of different disciplines, but really develop a wide range of skills. These courses will go towards your major, but it gives you the opportunity to explore other disciplines that you may not be focusing in specifically, but you still want some access to. The POP courses are very important and a key signature of the Clark experience, and that's problems of practice. And those are the experiential learning courses. So those might have a fieldwork component. It might involve an internship component. It might be doing undergraduate research or being a research assistant with one of the professors on campus. There's a number of ways that the program, the problems of practice courses can be handled. But one of my favorites is A lot of them are in conjunction with local organizations, nonprofits, and just community-based organizations across the city of Worcester. So that gives students a really good opportunity to take their knowledge and apply it in a real world context. And every student before they graduate will complete some type of capstone project. The capstone project can come in the form of a thesis, a research paper, it can come in the form of an actual presentation, or it can actually be a course in which you're doing in conjunction with your advisor. But those are all components of the liberal arts curriculum that you would experience at Clark. And it gives you opportunities to really feel how you want to go about your learning. Excellent. As stressed throughout most of these presentations, we're very key, we like to focus on what the experience will be beyond Clark. So experiential learning really does result in really good opportunities beyond the Clark experience. About 84% of our students are involved in an internship, a research assistantship, or something along the lines of that. And almost 97% of our students are finding employment within the first 6 months, or grad school, or some type of fellowship opportunity. Excellent. I'll go move on to the next. And as I mentioned before, as graduate opportunities are a big thing with Clark. About 1 in 3 of our students will go on to complete one of our 5th-year accelerated master's programs. And this master's will be covered the tuition will be fully covered by the institution. There's about 15 programs that is housed underneath that. And you can see in the slide, it covers a wide range of different areas of academia. Some of the more popular programs, definitely the Master of Arts in Teaching, definitely in biology, geography, information science is a very popular area, as well as the community development and planning. But definitely a key opportunity and something that I definitely encourage students to take advantage of. So we'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and close out with a little bit on the admissions and financial aid process. One of the things about us is we are a Common App school. And so you will be able to apply through the Common App. And some of the things that we're looking for in the application, we're looking for curiosity. We're looking for interest in learning and experiences outside of the traditional classroom. But the real big thing is the desire to engage in the Clark community, as well as the community beyond Clark. Most of our students have a desire and a passion for social justice, civic engagement, and these are things that we look for throughout the application process. So let me go to the next slide. Excellent. A couple of just dates to keep in mind. We do have, there's multiple stages in which you can decide to apply to Clark. We do 2 early decisions. We have an early action deadline as well as a regular decision. And it all aligns according to your timeline and what works best for you. Our application materials involve the Common App, a letter of recommendation from your teacher, as well as a counselor. And of course, we also offer a supplemental essay that allows you to speak more on your community engagement. We do not require SAT or ACT test scores. They are optional. They do not have a big, they do not weigh in heavy upon the admissions process, and they will not impact your ability to get merit scholarships as well. We do recommend students do interviews, not something that is required, but we often tell students to take advantage of that opportunity because it really gives you an opportunity to put your personal voice in the application. But those are just some of the components of the admissions, of our admissions application and some of the deadlines to keep in mind. And I want to speak, if we can go to the next slide, I want to speak a little bit more on the financial aid because we do offer both need-based and merit-based financial aid. In order for the need-based financial aid, we do require the FAFSA. We just actually added a new policy this year where for families whose income is below $100,000, we will be waiving the CSS profile. So that won't be required for certain families or qualifying families. Merit scholarships are offered upon admission. There's no additional application process for that. We just go based upon the information from your application. One of the things I also want to make sure to announce is this year we just offered a new financial aid policy where for all of our early decision students, we will be meeting 100% of demonstrated need. And outside of that, we offer many great financial aid opportunities to accommodate our students. Other than that, that is all for us. Well, thank you for your time. And I also put my information in the chat as well. So please feel free to follow up with me on an email and looking forward to chatting with more of you.
Miguel, thank you so much to you and Clark University. We are out of time, guys. Thanks so much to all of our professionals online. I'm sure they will join me in saying best wishes with your college search, and don't hesitate to reach out to them if you have questions throughout this process. They're here to help. Thank you so much for joining our presentation tonight. As you close out, there'll be a quick 5-question survey. So we do hope that you'll provide us with some feedback. There are more sessions. There's a whole nother hour tonight as well as tomorrow. And these were recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/CTCL. Thanks so much, everyone, and have a good night. Bye-bye.